Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new and just joining us, my name is Tyler with an O. Today's video is just going to be a simple face makeup routine, basically without adding any color to the face. This is just going to be the face portion. No eyeshadow, no lipstick in this video, but stay tuned, that is going to be the video uploaded after this. But if you'd like to see how I applied the foundation, kind of achieve this everyday wearable natural face look, then keep on watching. Alright, so a few disclaimers. Excuse the hair. I just got out of the shower. Kind of just like wash and go type situation going on there. Secondly, the foundation that I'm going to use, I just got back from Costa Rica literally yesterday. So I'm not too sure if I got any darker. I think I did. So the foundation that I'm going to use might be a little bit too light, but like I said, I just got back yesterday. So I didn't really have time to go and get a new foundation and all that other stuff. So if it's too light, forgive me. We're gonna make it work today. So like I said, I just got out the shower. The only thing that I've done is put on some EOS lip balm stuff because my lips be crusty when I get out the shower. After I wash my face, my face and my lips are always usually very dry. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and moisturize using the Clinique Moisture Surge Intense Skin Fortifying Hydrator. It's like a gel cream formula. Super hydrating. Like, I have dry skin to the point where I get very flaky. I've been comparing moisturizers for a couple months. This one compared with the other Clinique one, it's like yellow, and a couple of other brands, and I found that this one, I've never felt a moisturizer so hydrating. So this is definitely a winner in my book. And I'm gonna just start, press it into the skin. See me kind of looking above the camera. I have like a mirror there so I can kind of see myself. Whenever moisturize, I'm just gonna go ahead and take my little travel size bottle of the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water and just prime. I like to use a lot. I like to feel wet and I like to feel it dry so I know that it's there and I know that it's working. That makes sense. I don't know, that might sound weird. I actually like this primer water. One, because I don't want to rub in a primer on top of the moisturizer I already rubbed on. And two, this primer in particular, like I spray it on and it doesn't feel like much, but I do notice it is like a slight tackiness, which is really good when I apply my concealer. Even my eyebrows, it makes the product go on a lot better, and I feel like it makes it last longer. So yeah, I do like the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. So now we're gonna go in with foundation. So I barely ever wear foundation. The only reason I'll ever wear foundation is if I'm just trying to do a full coverage look for you guys for a video, but other than that, like day to day, even when I do put on makeup, the rare times that I do, I don't wear foundation. Back in the day, Jackie Anna used to talk about the Maybelline Fit Me foundation. I do like the matte poreless, but I've been using the Dewy Smooth because I do have such dry skin. I feel like they're very comparable as far as the quality goes. I've never had a problem with it, and I am in the shade 330 Toffee. So when I apply my foundation, I like to start off just with like a little, I guess a concealer brush, and I just like kind of paint it on in the beginning. Just in the spots around my face. Okay, I put a lot on my nose, but it's okay. People have a lot of different methods as far as like applying their foundation. Do what works for you. Like I said, I don't wear foundation all the time. I'm only putting it on for you guys. So next I have my damp sponge, and then this, I'm just gonna use this to blend it in. It's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be, because I told you like I got a little darker when I went to Costa Rica, but the color's not too bad. Okay, it is a little light, but we gonna make it do what it do, baby. Now that we've beat that in with the sponge, it's looking alright, but I'm also going to go over it with a flat top kabuki brush just to kind of get any sponge marks away, make sure everything is nice and even. I know I said flat top kabuki, but I'm actually going to use like just any dense brush. I can't find my flat top kabuki, so I'm gonna use this little dome shaped brush by e.l.f. Just something dense to kind of press out any like collection of product, I guess you can say. Alright, so now we got our foundation on, so the next thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and do the brows. And I'm actually gonna apply my brows off camera. Usually if I was gonna put on my brows, I'm in my bathroom. It's just the location that I'm used to, the mirror I'm used to, the lighting I'm used to. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that off camera, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so brows are on. Right now, I'm just going over with that same foundation sponge, just kind of around the brows. I know some of y'all like to have them halo brows. You know, the brows with the diva ring light around it, the insta brows. Yeah, that's not what we're going for. I did carve my brows out with a lighter concealer, so you know, it is gonna have a little bit of a highlight around them, and a little bit of that is okay, especially underneath, because it gives like a natural lift to the eyebrows. But as far as all around, that's so unnecessary, and to me that's just so tacky. That's not the way we doing it here on this channel. Looking pretty good. So now we're just gonna go ahead and conceal, my favorite part. For concealer today, I'm gonna use my Holy Grail NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer. I actually have two shades. It just depends on the look I'm going for. Today I'm gonna keep it more closer to my foundation shade, so that is going to be in the shade Caramel. The other shade I have is Biscuit, which I think is just one lighter, and I use that if I'm really going for like dramatics, you know, really trying to get an intense under eye highlighter or whatever, but today I'm not really, and since it is my product and I'm doing it on myself, I'm just about to dip in here with the wand. Don't really have a method to it, but you know how to do it. Also take some down the center of the nose, because we're gonna get snatched. Middle of the brows. Also just do a couple dabs here, you know, try to conceal that mustache a little bit. And then I already have my wet sponge that I use for under eye, and we're just gonna blend that in. Y'all know you gotta make the ugly concealer face. To blend my concealer onto the cheek. I know some people like to just stay in this little triangle area, but I like to bring mine onto the cheekbone, because again, we are highlighting, and I want attention to be on the cheekbone. Like I want my cheekbone to pop, I guess. So I'm definitely gonna be taking it down onto there. And then also on top of my eyelid. Are looking pretty decent. Now let's get this nose in between these brows. I don't have too big of a forehead, so I don't have a problem, you know, with highlighting my forehead. I actually think it kind of enhances my face shape. But for some people who have naturally big forehead, you might want to avoid that step, because it will make it look bigger. But ain't nothing wrong with a big forehead. Rihanna got one, and she got the coin. Tyra got one. She also got the coin. You see where I'm going with this, right? So we are concealed. Now I'm going to go ahead and set this with a powder, aka bake. Now there's a couple different methods of baking that I use. Just really depends on my mood. Sometimes I'll go in with like a pointed brush and get the powder and set under the eyes with the brush, but I do find that makes it look a little bit like it really dries out the under eye, and I already have dry skin, so I kind of avoid doing that. So what I'm going to do instead is use the same sponge I used to blend everything out, and I'm just going to go directly in with the powder on a damp sponge. On my sponge. Putting that anywhere I put concealer. I guess I'll also go and do like my reverse contour with the powder. And we're pretty much good to go as far as our setting powder goes. I'm in the middle of kind of like exploring different setting powders. I've tried the Midnight Banana, I don't like it. I've tried the Laura Mercier, I don't like it. So right now I'm just kind of using this Maybelline one I got from Walmart. always done the trick. I've never really had a problem with flashback or anything like that. I'm afraid to try the Airspun because I feel like it's just a little too white, whereas this one you can kind of see it is in the shade medium, so it's a little bit darker. I don't know, if you like the Airspun, let me know. I know a lot of people do, I know a lot of people don't. But yeah, that's just where I'm at with setting powders right now. So while that's baking, this is when I like to go in and kind of contour. I do have two methods of contouring as well. One that's definitely more dramatic, and then one that's a little more natural. I think today we're definitely gonna go the more natural route. When I'm going for a more dramatic contour, a more chiseled look, I'll go in with my MAC 1633 brush. And you can see it's like a very narrow, densely packed brush. And it definitely can give you like that line. You really gotta blend with this, but we're not doing all that today. So what I'm gonna do instead is kind of just take a more fluffier contour brush, something a little bit more fluffy to give it that little airbrush shadowy effect, because we don't want really any harsh lines with this look today. And then for a contour powder, I have a hard time finding contours that aren't so warm. So one day I was just randomly in H&M and I went over to their makeup section and I saw this, it's actually a true matte finishing powder, but I like it because one, it's not heavily pigmented, and two, it's like a cool toned brown, so it's not warm, it's not a bronzer, it just gives like that natural shadow effect, and this is in the shade Chestnut. And again, it's just a matte finishing powder, so there's no shimmer in it, which you find in a lot of bronzers. And it's cool tone, so it mimics the natural shadows of a face and it doesn't warm you up too much. So I'll just swirl into that a little bit. And then I start kind of from, I don't know, you see like the natural line from ear to mouth. I'm not gonna bring it all the way down to the mouth, but just kind of concentrate the color up at the top, swirl it around, and then just start bringing it down. And it's a combination of like circular swirls, and then I also like flick it up. Same powder but a different brush. I'm going to use a more narrow, densely packed brush. This one is actually the foundation brush from Real Technique, but it's good just for getting that nose contour. I know some people like to use like an eyeshadow brush, but that gives it too harsh of a contour. Again, I'm still trying to go for like a little subtle, natural, shadowy effect, so that's why I like this brush. So I'm just gonna go on with some of the product. And I like to kind of like stamp it on first. And then I'll go through and kind of brush it. I'm trying to go for like chiseled, snatched, fresh off the surgeon table look. Like I'm just, you know, adding dimension to the face. I like to connect my nose contour up to the eyebrows, just so it doesn't have like an obvious start and stop place on the face to make it look more unnatural. But yeah, that's it. Alright, so now that we are contoured, we can go ahead and wipe away the bake. Also, what I like to do with that same brush, now that I've just wiped off the powder, I kind of just press over my eyebrows. Because again, I did use a concealer, so I kind of want to set that concealer without like wiping off my brow or anything like that. So I just lightly press over it. I don't know if it does anything or not, but it kind of just gives me a little peace of mind. I am going to highlight. So now, me personally, my taste in highlighters, I don't like anything that's too chunky, too glittery. My goal in highlighting is to just make my face look dewy, to make my face look moist and like glistening. I don't want to look like I just put glitter on my face. I don't want to look like, you know, I'm fucking Edward Cullen from Twilight. So this is actually from e.l.f. and it's actually a bronzer, but you know, a tip for the color girls, a lot of bronzers for fair-skinned individuals can work as a highlighter for us, because I do notice a lot of the bronzers I found have a lot of shimmer in them, which I think is really dumb. I don't like the whole glittery look, especially all over the face. So I found a bronzer from e.l.f. Again, it is for fairer-skinned individuals, but because I'm not one of those people, I can actually use this as a highlight. It basically just picks up the nice like shimmer reflectiveness without the warmth of the bronzer, if that makes sense. You'll see. And then I'm just gonna get like a nice little, I guess, a highlighter brush. I think this is Morphe. This is the Morphe M500. And yeah, just kind of go in there and run this down the cheek. So I like to run down, and then I flick back, and then I flick up. I hope you guys can see that. And then also what I've been into, I'll get some and just kind of freely put under the eyebrow, on top of the eyebrow, and then just on the forehead area. I don't typically put any on my nose because throughout the day my nose is the only area that does get greasy, so I don't need any additional shine there. But yeah, I just feel like it makes me look nice and hydrated and dewy, all the above. This is definitely the look that I like to go for. So yeah guys, this is actually where I'm gonna stop. My next video is going to be the eye look that's gonna go with this face, but I just wanted to do the face kind of in a separate video because the eye is gonna take some time. But yeah, normally after this, you can apply blush, you know, your favorite liner, mascara. If you wanted to proceed with eyeshadow or anything like that, you definitely could. I know I'm going to throw a lip on there, but I just kind of wanted to introduce you to one of the ways that I achieve a face look if I'm going to serve face. Very easy, very doable. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see the eye look, subscribe and stay tuned. That'll be coming up in my next video. Bye!